Welcome to another Saturday morning nerd out. I am the one and only Graveyard. Make sure to get caffeinated, take the pills you need to, grab your cereal, or if you're James, get your bacon eggs, and make sure to grab a hold of your favorite nerd because it is time to nerd out. Without further ado, the Frey girl with all the gifts, my Corglisi, the one and only Frey girl.
Oh my gosh, it gets better. Every week it gets better.
Yes.
You're just gonna have to put it on my tab because at this point I owe you like thousands of dollars for stuff like that. So
how are you doing this morning, Frey girl?
I'm gonna say I'm slightly awake, so this should be an interesting show.
Hey, you know what? That's what we're here for.
How are you? How are you doing?
Good. I just came back from the gym, got a quick shower in, so pain, but good pain, I guess.
I'm not a fan of morning people. You have to stop this.
Oh, I'm not a morning person by any stretch of the imagination
How
at
a person
all.
named Graveyard can be a morning person.
I'm not.
Right now.
I just have to do it. I have to deal with it. I'm definitely a night person, hence, Graveyard. So
Graveyard, yeah.
Yes.
Well, they are more fun at night, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
All right. Also joining us, we have two people who are a force to be reckoned with, coming from an actual Saturday morning in Cali. Here we go, Mr. and Mrs. Force.
Hey.
Hey there, Force.
Wow. I thought I wasn't awake.
No,
yeah.
Wakey, eggs and bakey. How you doing there, Mr. Force?
I'm up. I'm awake now.
You're awake now?
I think.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Mrs.
Right.
Force joining us? Hello.
Hi, I'm also not quite awake. I'm just a little more awake than he is.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
and here she is, the other Force to be reckoned with, Captain, my captain.
Yo.
How's it going?
It's going okay. I'm coming down with something, so it's fantastic.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah.
What are you coming down with?
The
sickness? Ooh,
Yeah.
a case of the blues. She's coming down with a case.
You can hear it in my throat. Oh boy. Oh, sorry guys.
Feedback, yay.
Here, I'm gonna go get my headphones on.
Okay. My ears.
For those of you with listening to us with earbuds, please give us a moment and turn your volume down. We'll let you know to turn it back up.
Yes. So, Forrest, you excited? I know you have a couple more days left in California. Do you miss Florida? Does Florida man miss Florida? No.
Oh, he's
muted, but yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he say the other day, wasn't it on one of the other shows, that he was like, I don't want to leave?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, is this better, guys?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Forrest is muted, so we can't hear him. Unmute yourself, Forrest.
Oh, no.
Unmute yourself. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Make sure we don't have any feedback.
Better?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Much better.
Yes.
Now
All right.
I'm moving down to my little bed hole right here.
All right. Who's ready to grab your favorite nerd and nerd out this morning?
Ha.
All right.
My favorite nerds are here.
Oh, of course. I mean, we're still missing a couple.
We missed you last night, Frey girl.
I took some medication and fell asleep and apparently mean-mugged the husband when he got up to go to the bathroom. So it was fun. Probably not.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not the fun that I would have had on After Dark, but it was fun.
It was so much fun on After Dark. My computer, sound and video were not working.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, so eventually I just gave up. And then after that, Matt and I stayed up. Matt Forza and I stayed up trying to figure it out. But he got it working. Yay!
Yay!
It's because of when I was on distance nerding, I had to mute all my volume, and
Mhm.
I didn't realize that was what was causing it.
So we're saying that's also Phil's fault.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep. Hashtag
absolutely.
blink Phil.
It's
Blame
Island
Phil.
Boy's fault. Yes.
Island boy.
Island
That's what happens
Boy.
when you go to Hawaii.
Hashtag blame Phil.
All right.
Ow.
Let's get
I'm watching a
into
lot
it.
of Dragon Ball Bridge, so
Oh.
It was all Phil's fault.
it's all Phil's fault. Wow.
All right. Let's dive into this, shall we? Let's start off with Transformers number who cares at this point
Yes.
in time.
This looks like this is going into
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars territory.
Yes, it is. It
Yes.
absolutely is Beast
What?
Wars. So
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
I linked in the description. I linked all the trailers that we're discussing in the description below. So make sure to check it out. We're not going to be showing it, but we're going to be discussing it here.
Yeah, because we'll get copyright claimed.
Yeah. So, have you all seen the trailer?
Mm-mm. I've not had a chance. He did. He has.
Mhm.
Mr. Force has been on it. I have not.
Okay. Well, we
The-
start.
I- Go ahead.
Oh,
I don't care. I'll watch it afterwards. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm all for Beast Wars. Beast Wars was my Transformers.
it was
so
mine too.
yeah, Beast Wars.
So
Excited.
when
Oh my
we
God.
start with the lively Mr. Forrest here, how do you feel about the trailer, and how excited are you for Transformers number 27 or whatever number?
It's like they said they were
1
gonna have to die.
million Transformers.
So I'm just gonna wait for it to hit HBO Max, to be honest. But no, it's gonna be a fun movie. It'll be something that'll be cool. I can put it on, watch it for like an early evening, and say, "Yay, I saw it! Hooray! Hi, Metso."
Hey, Metso.
I miss our coffee mornings. We need to have them back. I'm excited.
I saw it. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about Ron Perlman
Mhm.
voicing.
Yes.
Was it Optimus Primal?
Optimus Primal, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
so
Optimus.
excited. And Michelle Yeoh, we finally got to hear her voice, and I'm like, I want that. And the feathers and like the actual fur on the cheetah. Oh my gosh. I was so excited about it. No, she's playing the Falcon. I can't remember the name.
Yes.
It's like Alagar or Alagine or something like that. Anyway, she sounds so cool, and they did that kind of like metallic, that like metal kind of distortion to her voice. So you've got Michelle Yeoh with that like punk rock voice. It's so cool.
They did that a lot for the Beast Wars, for the different voices for the Beast Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and I am not.
This is going to be. You can tell which one was my favorite.
But I haven't really. I mean, I've never watched any of them in the theater. I've watched them all, but I've never watched any of them in the theater. I think it'll just depend on how I'm feeling that week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if I'm gonna watch it in the theater, because I'm like,
I think I saw all for the first 3 in the theater.
Yeah, I didn't see any of them.
Well, the reason why the last one, Dark Side of the Moon, was not last one, but the third one was such a big thing for me is because Leonard Nimoy was in it, and it was a big deal for me because I'm kind of a Leonard Nimoy fan, guys. I'm kind of a huge Leonard Nimoy fan.
What has he been in that you enjoyed?
Everything, and he's a director too.
Invasion of the Pod People. I agree. Great movie.
That is a great movie, actually. I will agree with you. But hold on. I for an early birthday present, I got something really cool.
I was gonna say In Search Of is my favorite thing.
In Search of Spock is the best.
Oh, yay!
I got this as a sweet gift. Yes, I am absolutely yeah, I've seen a lot of the stuff he's directed, and I loved him in that. I actually cried at certain parts, not because it was a good movie, just because it was Leonard Nimoy. And his character had depth and meaning to me, whereas no one else did.
So Aubrey, Beast Wars.
Beast Wars, I'm excited. I'll go and watch Beast Wars because Beast Wars was such a great TV series. We don't talk about Beast Wars at all. We haven't yet. And Matt, you and I really need to sit down. We really need to talk about Beast Wars.
Oh, absolutely.
It's such a good show. It went under the radar at the time. I think a lot of people kind of dismissed it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a good show.
So
it really is. I finally started watching it. I was
11.
Oh God. Yeah, I think I was 10. Yeah.
You were 10, younger 11, than you are today.
And I was at first the CGI effects really kind of threw me off because it wasn't normal animation at the time, and that was really rare. So the CGI animation was pretty off-putting at first.
Mm-hmm.
But as the show went on, I more and more tried to catch it when I could because the storylines were so good that they keep you coming back for the storyline. The acting is good, but it really is like they went all out on writing a really good storyline for that show, and you get invested in all the characters, and it's so good. And there's no humans at all.
There's Neanderthals.
Yeah, but they don't really count. Come on.
So
it's all about it's all
extinct. They don't matter.
Well, they don't be a big part of the story. It's really about the Autobots and the Decepticons. It's really about them.
Predacons and
Predacons and the
crap.
What are they called?
Insecticons?
No, it's not Insecticons. It's been such a long time since I've seen it. I need to go back and watch everything.
So I gotta ask, Captain.
Yes.
From the trailer, I have not seen Rat Trap.
Oh, Rat Trap.
Now we've seen Cheetor, we've seen Optimus Primal, we've seen Rhinox. We see at least one of the. We have seen the Falcon. I don't see the Tiger. And then
Tigra. I think that's her name.
The white tiger. That he was a pacifist in the show. He came later when they got the pods out. Stuff like that.
It was 1996 when it came out.
Yeah.
So
maybe they're going to do
early
that
96. It means I was about 10.
Maybe they're going to do that for the second or the third movie because I know they're planning this as a trilogy.
Okay.
But really? Rat Trap was there from the very beginning. And
yeah, Rat Trap was there from the beginning. I'm trying to see.
They are Maximals.
Maximals. There's a
that's
Maximals.
Right. Yeah.
Maximals. I'm trying to find them. Yeah.
Yes. So I have one issue with something as well.
What?
Is they're saying that Scourge and Unicron are the bad guys. I see 0 Predacons. I don't see Scorponok. I don't see Tarantula. I don't.
Oh,
see,
weird.
I don't see Megatron as a dinosaur. I don't see
really
Predacons at all in any of the trailers, and I don't think you can have Beast Wars without the Predacons.
Yeah, you need the Predacons.
It is called Rise of the Beast. So Rise of the Beast. So this may be like the prequel to the Beast Wars. Yes, I'm rationalizing. I know that. Hush.
It's okay. It's fine. It's totally fine. I just think it's an interesting theory that it's about how they come to be, and such an interesting theory about the trailer. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. By the way, I love your background. The poster in your background's awesome.
Oh,
sorry,
thanks.
My ADHD just went.
It's the DC bombshells.
Yeah,
up until the point that they made it. So they've got so many more now, but
yeah,
I just love the bombshells because they're awesome.
So I'm just hoping we get to see the full lineup at some point in time. We need
I hope so.
We need the defective. We need Dinobot. We need
our Dinobots. Yeah, I want our Dinobots. I want to see. I can't wait to see the T-Rex.
Right.
Megatron. I can't wait to see Megatron and T-Rex as the T-Rex.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
I think Starscream becomes one too.
Starscream becomes he does become one of the flying.
Yeah, he's one of the flying. I think he's the pterodactyl. I think that's who he is.
Yeah, Pterodon.
Pterodon.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping that we get to see this as a whole. I said this is my childhood Beast Wars. I don't like that we waited to like number 8 or 9 to get to this.
Yeah.
So
I
my
wish it
hope
wasn't.
does fit.
I wish it wasn't put as part of the anthology, I guess. But I am excited. This is yours and my childhood graveyard because we're about the same age. So
Yeah.
this was our era of Transformers. So we are super excited. I'm sure you're as excited as I am to see that on the big screen.
Oh yeah.
And I guess the movie itself takes place in 1994.
Oh.
So yeah, so it's actually not like it's almost like it's a prequel. So yeah, so I think that's part of it. And Anthony Ramos, he's the main human in it. And I guess there's one shot in there that is so cool. I can't remember who's writing who's
the director?
Oh gosh, I don't know. And it is like one of the coolest scenes in the whole trailer. It's like a transformer riding what are they called again, Graveyard?
Was that?
The animal ones, what are they called?
Maximals.
It's and it's just so cool. Yeah. And you can see them, they're just like going right into battle. Oh, it's just an amazing shot.
Well, Beast Wars was an amazing show, so
and they also had a sequel to Beast Wars, which take place on the Transformers' homeworld after they left Earth and came back, and that the Predacons and Megatron took over Cybertron, and all their Maximal friends have been converted into Predacons. So I'd love to see that too.
Yeah, that one had a darker tone to it, didn't it?
Yes, it was Beast Wars and then Beasts.
I have it right here.
Something like that.
It was called Beast Machines.
Yes.
Oh.
Where they were more animalistic.
Hold on.
So
wait.
They were more robotic.
Yeah, it's called Beast Machines Transformers. Yeah, from 1999 to 2000. Wow, it only had one season.
Yes, but everyone came back. So,
yeah, I remember that.
But James, you should watch Beast Wars and Beast Machines. It is a good watch, and
great watch.
It's fantastic.
Anthony Ramos is also going to be in Iron Heart.
Okay,
just to let you guys know, he's going to play the baddie.
Yeah,
Red Hood or
Red Hood.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
You sound awesome.
Yes.
I sound great. I sound great. I sound wonderful.
All right.
Yeah, I'm coming down with something. I don't know what it is, but I'm not feeling the best.
Yes. All right.
This happened last night. I started getting it yesterday. Came down with it last night, and it has been great.
It's the too much fun disease.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It started coming down with it on Thursday, so it's just it's probably just a yeah. I caught the Floridas. No, I didn't call the Floridas. That's terrible, Jamez.
Yes. Well, speaking of things that take place in the past, let's talk about the next Batman movie. The next Superman
Flash.
movie.
Batman.
The Flash.
There is no Superman in this movie. There is a Supergirl.
There's a Supergirl
in this movie.
Well,
who is gonna steal the freaking movie?
No, it's all about Michael Keaton.
There is plot points though from Man of Steel, so it's still in the Superman plot line.
Yeah, I'm not really excited about Ezra Miller on it, to be honest. I honestly wish they had just replaced him with Grant Gustaf, but you know what? Whatever. I still think he's a terrible human and should not be he should not be rewarded for being a terrible, terrible human. But whatever.
It's they're non-binary.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. They are a terrible human. I don't care. They are a terrible human no matter what pronoun they have. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what about the Flash movie?
It looks fantastic.
I'm excited to see Keaton back.
Oh, yeah.
That's a driving force at this point in time.
To quote the Lonely Island, I just in my pants. No, I am ecstatic to see him back.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot wait. It looks fantastic. He looks fantastic. I'm like, yes, this is the old Bruce we all need and want.
Now, do you think that they're just showing more Keaton and maybe all of Keaton to give?
I hope so.
Less Flash, more Batman.
I hope so.
More excited for the movie.
I hope so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think we're gonna have more and more and more of Keaton. If they go with the Flashpoint, Thomas Wayne, who was Batman in Flashpoint, when Barry's in the other world, so to speak, the world that he created, Thomas Wayne is Batman. And spoiler alert, I mean, it's only been out, 20 years now?
Yeah, it's only been out 20 years. There's an animated Flashpoint that is around, and that is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, the Flashpoint Paradox. So,
yes, Flashpoint Paradox is just so great.
Yeah, it is. If they stick with that and not make him, I mean, obviously he's
still a terrible human and they are still a terrible human, and I don't think they should still get rewarded having this really, really big role. Just don't think so. That is on. I mean, he's a child. They are child predator. Let's just call a spade a spade. They are child predator. Do not want child predators to be big stars.
Especially superhero stars.
I just don't think they deserve to have that role. I'm sorry. Kidnapping a 14-year-old girl and holding them, grooming and brainwashing them and holding them for months at a time without any connection to her family. I don't think that this person deserves to be the Flash. I just don't.
So as far as the movie goes,
sorry, I have opinions here. Sorry, the captain's opinions.
No, and that's fine. No, but as far as the Flash movie goes, I think we'll see more of Keaton's Batman than we'll see of Affleck's Batman, just for the reason that in Flashpoint, Barry goes to him to help him make it right. And it's a big deal. So I think we'll get that. I think the main scene will be them trying to get Flash's powers back. They just have 2 Flashes instead of 1, because in the Flashpoint series and the animated series, it's just one Barry. So I think that's
I think this is going into the multiverse. I think this is more multiverse than it is Flashpoint Paradox.
They're doing 2 things, and I think that's cool. I do think it's cool that we are ending where we started, almost like the Snyderverse has come full circle. And I think it's a good point to jumpstart a new DCU, and I think that's where they're going to go with it.
It's a soft reboot, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if Ezra will be the Flash after all of this. But
they did say that Grant Gustaf is going to make an appearance as the Flash.
They said that they couldn't fit him in. That's the most recent thing that we've seen for Grant. But I don't know. I still think they're negotiating. I don't know that we will see Ezra again as the Flash.
I hope
not.
But
I do think that this movie will be a good tone to end it on, because I think that the storyline that they're coming from is a very solid storyline and a well-loved storyline. So.
Well, I mean, I've heard from all accounts, that they are a good actor. I mean, they are talented. So it's just a shame that they are also a terrible, terrible human being.
I think they need to get help. I think there are a lot of things going on.
I do think there is a lot of mental health issues that are in
and that they need to get the help that they should get and focus on that. So that's
because it is a mental health disorder. I do agree with that. I do think that there is some big time mental health issues there, but oof.
Yeah. But as far as the movie goes, I'm gonna be there the weekend it opens. I will be watching it. I will be loving it.
You
I have a
go,
feeling
Fred.
I'll have a girl crush on Supergirl because I kind of already do.
Yeah, Supergirl looks fantastic, and she is adorable.
And they're doing with her what they did with Superman in Flashpoint, and I think that's going to be fantastic. So
yeah.
And now take me off the big screen.
All right, I want to hear from another DC nerd here, Mr. Forrest. Regardless of Ezra and anything else, how are you excited to see Michael Keaton back?
I'll be there night one.
Yeah, I'll probably be there for Midnight Showing too.
I will be there. I'll be there opening.
Yeah.
If I can actually get tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're in Florida. That's a weird state for getting tickets. Here in the Midwest, you can get tickets on the day of, usually.
On the day of there, Fred girl.
On the day of. That's my Miss Minutes.
You gotta drive through the cornfields to get there.
Yeah. Who do you think makes all those crop circles?
So I mean, like I said, I know. Do you think? I know we discussed this before when we looked at the trailer with the new trailer. Do you think this is going to be the soft reboot that we need in this universe? Do you think it'll finally happen and on a high note? What do you think?
Yeah, it'll work out. It'll be fine.
It looks better than any of the other DC movies, I think, that have been released thus far. I think they are finally getting back on track. And I think James Gunn is a really good... It's going to be the person to really get them back on that track. I do think that, to be fair. Cool. It looks like a fantastic movie. I'm super excited. I am, no matter what... Oh, and they had Zod, too. Yes. Zod is back in this movie.
Because there's no metahumans in that universe, and Batman not being a metahuman is the only really fighter that's left.
Yes.
Yep.
So.
And I'm so excited to see Michael Keaton. I was screaming, wasn't I? I was practically screaming. I was so excited. I was like, yes! Okay.
And you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah.
That's the line we all wanted.
He said the line.
He said it. He said it right there.
All right. Well, I want to know, since we're all hungry for this movie, how do we feel?
Don't say hungry. We're not hungry. We're excited.
I am.
We're jazzed.
I mean, Hunger Games. You're hungry for it.
Oh,
God, we don't need another Hunger Games.
We don't need another. Why are we having another Hunger Games?
Hunger Game. Too hungry.
Too gamey.
Too gamey.
Okay, what is this one about?
It is the prequel. It is President Snow on the 10th. It is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So it is the book. It is off the book that came out. So I mean, they just didn't make it out of thin air. Obviously, you guys have strong opinions about Hunger Games, but I know Frey has opinions.
I love the Hunger Games. I just rewatched the whole series recently, so I'm totally ready for this. And I haven't read the book. I think I probably need to go ahead and read the book. But isn't President Snow? He's like one of the. It's before he's president.
He's a sponsor.
Right, he's a sponsor, and it's this is the 10th Hunger Games.
Yes,
and he's. The person that he sponsors is from District 12 again, and he falls in love with her and all this stuff.
That's why.
It's like
so really... it's transference. That's why he is so attached to Katniss, is because it's like transference.
Yeah, he probably sees a lot of the woman that he fell in love with as her. So I think this will be an interesting history of Snow. And Viola Davis looks so freaking awesome. And then they've got Jason Schwartzman playing Stanley Tucci's role in it. Ooh. And I am there for that because Jason Schwartzman is the only one who could play a young Stanley Tucci from that. I'm just saying that right now. And if he messes it up, I will never forgive him because Stanley Tucci is amazing and I love him.
I think it should have been Stanley Tucci as his, father or grandfather.
Yeah, they may still do that. like that, but no, I mean, because they genetically modify themselves so that they do age slower and things like that. And so I think we'll see a lot more of that kind of stuff of what's really going on in the Capitol and how really disgusting the Capitol is and always has been.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be part of it. And it's going to be how he gets shaped.
Well, I think, it is I watched the movies. I watched the riff tracks of them because they're fantastic for Hunger Games. I have not read the books. It's a series I don't particularly care for, but my wife thoroughly enjoys them. And, she has read the book, and, this is taking place 64 years before the first Hunger Games with Katniss. And this is the first tribute really that we hear from District 12 before Heyman, played by Woody Harrelson in the Hunger Games. Haymitch, yes.
Hamish,
close enough. Hyman, whatever.
Wow.
Drunky McDrunkerson.
Yeah. So, and I had to ask the wife and prep for this episode of. I had to get more of a timeline because was District 13 the cause of the creation of Hunger Games, right? Is that what happened? So District 13's already been destroyed 10 years prior to this. So, the way I'm looking at this from a horror point of view is this is the first purge. Essentially, it's at the 10th annual Hunger Games. I think it's interesting that we see that how technology changed from 64 years ago. It wasn't this elaborate holographic map. They're able to do stuff. It was more like CRTVs and stuff like that. I said I will see it eventually. I'm not going to go into theaters to see it. I'll wait to watch it till it comes out on whatever streaming platform to watch it with the wife. Hopefully, Rip Tracks comes back with this as well. But it is really just a transitional piece of President Snow to see where he got to be, why he does the things he does, because obviously stuff happens in here that he changes Hunger Games as a whole. And it's nice that Sutherland is back doing the voiceover work for the movie.
That's nice. Donald Sutherland's really a fantastic actor, and I'm glad that he's back doing stuff for it.
And he was the first watcher of Buffy.
Yes, he was.
First what?
Watcher of Buffy.
Yes,
Vampire Slayer.
He was. He was.
So, Forrest, I know you're super excited for all of this stuff. Do you care in the slightest? No, I didn't think so.
Me off the screen.
Off the screen? No, we'll just do this. All right.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean,
we can move on from this. Let's move
on. Let's talk briefly before we get into the meat of this episode of talking about survivors and districts and fighting for your life. Jedi Survivor.
Heck yeah.
I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give. Oh wait,
I've seen a little of this.
See, I just hear Robert Downey Jr.'s voice from Tropic Thunder. Survive.
Yeah. Survive.
So I want to hear.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
Mr. Forrest, you played Fallen Order, yeah?
So I'm going to shock you here with all my Star Warsiness. I did not go through Fallen Order.
What?
Because things happened back in Saberland that ruined it for me completely. And it completely turned me off to this game. So until Stella gets her groove back, I ain't touching it.
Oh.
Wow.
Will you join me if I play it live?
I'll join you if you play it live.
I mean, I'll join you.
Yeah.
I'll watch. I'm just not going to play it.
Okay.
No, it's a great game. It actually is. I've seen a lot of Fallen Order. It's beautiful. It looks beautiful. The little robot is the cutest thing ever.
BB1?
BB1, yeah. BB. We just call him BB.
Did you
BB is fantastic.
Oh,
I love it. I want to get a little thing of BB.
A little BB one, yeah.
I want a little BB one. And I'm in love with that little robot. It's so cute. I want it. I'm trying to find a build of it. Maybe we'll do a build of it if I buy it, maybe I can come to Distance Learning and do a build of it.
Do it.
Yeah, there you go.
But I really want a little figurine. I want a plushie of BB one, honestly.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think we are finally getting back to story-driven Star Wars games like we had with Jedi Academy?
So Jedi Fallen Order is a big time story driven game, but it is beautiful looking. It's beautiful. Like you can take like photos and you can stop it and do in camera mode, and you can. There's a lot you can do in the game itself, but it is an absolutely stunning game, and it is good. It's a good game. It's a very, very good
I've
game.
enjoyed what I've played of it so far. I haven't not Survivor, but Fallen Order.
Yeah, Fallen Order. And Survivor looks even better. And they did a lot of
Survivor.
Yeah, they did a lot of motion capture with it too.
Yes.
From behind the scenes, so it looks really good. The actor that plays Cal actually is like they took it directly off of the actual actor.
Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah, it's Cameron Monaghan's actual mocap.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
the trailer
amazing.
The day before with him and Mark Hamill
was
so freaking hilarious, and that whole you don't have to tell me how to use the Force and stuff. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I was like, I wanted to play it anyway, but
yeah, I would
just
say
like after that I was like, oh, I'm there. I got to do this. My son will play it first because he played the first one. So
honestly, I'm right with you, Jemez. I would love to see Monahan having a Disney Plus series. That it would actually be really great.
I'm hoping that we get him in Ahsoka, like something, because she's going to the world between worlds. She could accidentally end up somewhere that he is, and it could happen. I think it should. Cameron Monaghan is such a cute little ginger. He's such a cute little ginger, and he deserves all of it.
Gingers are cute.
Yes.
Gingers are awesome. I like gingers.
Well, so I mean, even if we don't play it on our gaming live channel, I know that Distance Nerding is going to be playing it. So either we do it as well.
I would love to do it.
Or Incursion. We're going to do a KCP incursion of Distance.
Or instead of killing live segments with it, you could do pre-recorded like we did Last of Us.
Yes, I think we should do that.
We should do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, so
we still need to go back and do Mario RPG.
Which one? So, all right.
James, you're so right. That was like the best moment. You get two.
I need to watch
this. They never gave me two lightsabers.
Yes, definitely watch the trailer.
This trailer
I'm excited for the game.
It's like a minute long, Captain Lady Moon. So it's real, and you'll want to watch it like over and over again. So
the lady part in my name is based on a Star Wars role playing game that I would do where I played a character named Lady Grey, and that was her like moniker. So Perla Grey is amazing. I love her. Absolutely love her. She's great.
I think we survived this segment. Let's move on.
We can move on.
Let's go on to something that it's really hard to survive.
Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead Rise. So let me change this because.
Seen it?
Oh yes. So
how was it? I haven't gotten to see it yet because I've been hanging out with the fours. So
there is spoiler alert. So anyone that doesn't want to know what it is going to be about, I am going to give a spoiler-ish review.
Okay.
So
spoilers.
Yes.
Spoilers.
So for
extra, it's a spoiler.
Yes. So
for
me, obviously being a huge ass fanboy of Evil Dead franchise, like I said, enough to have half of the sleeve of Evil Dead. I think this movie is kind of exactly what the franchise needed. I think Fede Alvarez did a fantastic job in 2013, but it's honestly quite forgettable that we took 10 years to get another Evil Dead movie. And this reinvigorated the franchise in ways that we could only have hoped it to be. It is far better than Fede Alvarez's by far. We showed that you can take the Necronomicon. Now, here's the part of the spoiler. There are 3 books. This is volume 3. And if you remember from Army of Darkness, when Ash went to the shrine, there are 3 books. And in this universe, Sam Raimi has 1, Fede Alvarez has another, and Lee Cronin has the third. So we already know that canonized-wise, this makes sense. Now, Evil Dead's never cared about canon before, so it's interesting to see how this works. And there is a way to show that you cannot have the cabin in the woods scenario. This has nothing to do with cabin in the woods. This is in a high-rise apartment in LA.
You mean this book here?
That one.
You mean that one?
Yeah, that one.
Or maybe how about this one?
That one. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So there's a lot of good Easter eggs, that you have to have in there. One, I'd love to do an Easter egg video for it, because
that'd be fun.
There is one of the hardest references is there's a Fonda's tree service.
No.
Because Bridget Fonda was Linda in Army of Darkness, so they added the Fonda name to it.
Wasn't she in 2 as well?
No.
It's a different. They cast her in 2.
It's been a different Linda in every single one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
everyone's been a different Linda.
So, I mean, this is a rundown high-rise building that is being torn down. And so, it like I said, there's a lot of Easter eggs. Like, one of the kids has a poster of the Three Stooges with Shemp. And if you know anything about Evil Dead and Shemps, or fake Shemps, they use that a lot in their terms. So they are very Three Stooges oriented. And that's another great Easter egg. Henrietta's Pizza is on there. So Henrietta is on there as well. And there was this contest
too, isn't it?
Yeah. And there is a Bruce Campbell cameo. You have to listen for it. Now, I didn't read, because I watched it the day after it came out. People caught the first day, and they were saying, "Hey, if you catch it, we'll give you $50." I listened. I was watching the movie. I go, "That's Bruce Campbell." 100%. And I immediately posted it, all that stuff, and it was amazing. It wasn't as gross out sick as Fede Alvarez's. No, it was not. But it was pure horror in the way.
Yeah.
There was no comedic bits. There was no slapstick. It was more akin to the first Evil Dead.
Yeah, good.
Now, the
first Evil Dead still manages to get me.
Right.
Like, ugh.
The one of the biggest issues I have with this movie is the Deadites, because the Deadites always had good creature effects and milky white eyes, even through Ash versus Evil Dead. Right. These Deadites look like the Deadites from the 2013 Evil Dead. So jaundice, they look like they have jaundice and yellow eyes, and that's how they are possessed, and that's unfortunately a product of new horror movies with possessions. We went back to the old school way of Reagan from Exorcist being that look. So it doesn't have that feel of the Deadites. They just look like I said, jaundice, which it works. It's nice to see they're carrying on something from 10 years previous. But like I said, it is a good watch. There are some gross parts, and they actually have the cojones to kill a kid on screen.
Wow.
And kids do get possessed.
Oh, gosh.
So it is really interesting to see how it goes. Now, they say that there's more blood in this movie than any other Evil Dead. Maybe more realistic looking blood, because Evil Dead 2 had geysers of blood. Now, it was just, colored water, but it was a lot. But overall, it was a fantastic movie. They're saying they're not going to wait 10 years between this anymore, and that there's a whole universe they're hoping to build on this that they want to do to do this. So, there is rumors of a animated show coming out with Bruce Campbell reprising Ash, because he's supposedly done with live action Ash.
Yeah, because it hurts too much for him to do all the action scenes.
Correct. And he's getting old, and he doesn't want to be covered in blood anymore. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, but he continues. As I said before, what I'd love to see him be is the occult bookshop owner.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
He helps people prep. He's the Giles of the Slayer world, but Evil Dead. and have him.
I appreciate that reference. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
and he's not smart, so he's going to send people to his death because he's an idiot.
He is an idiot. I mean, it's sad because I never thought of like Ash as being particularly an idiot. I thought he was just insane because of everything he just experienced. He had experience. He's like super PTSD, and I think that watching all of his friends die in Evil Dead 2, he's basically making it up in his head so that his friends and I think it was his sister didn't die. That basically was just Linda there, and then it just goes on, and he's just certifiably insane, and maybe that made him stupid and an idiot. Well, because Ash from the first Evil Dead wasn't an idiot.
He wasn't the hero either. He
was not.
He got trapped under 2 bookshelves while Scotty did all the work.
That's true.
Yeah.
So he was not the hero.
He was the hero because he got trapped under those bookshelves.
Books and he survived. He was a survivor. He was a survivor.
Yes.
But in Evil Dead, he was just so done with everything.
Yeah.
He was just so done with all of it. He was like, whatever, I don't care anymore. Fuck this. But he was more idiotic in Evil Dead. But he was like an idiot savant because he could make like himself that whole glove thing. And so he was, so idiot savant.
He had college books on chemistry and robotics. So therefore, he's able to do it. Now, James, answer your question. Yes, you can watch it. You will never look at the cheese grater the same.
Oh, God.
Look, I have issues. I have an irrational fear about cheese graters anyway. So that's right up my alley.
Yeah. So, yes, eating a wine glass is a little more than jaundice. It is. They do eat a wine glass because she's got bugs in her tummy she's got to get rid of. That's like the exact line. I'm not joking. When she became a Deadite, it was awful. But the rest of it was fantastic. It's not scary. It is a good, fun horror movie. It really is.
Oh, good. I mean, I'm glad for that. Just like I can't wait for the Red Key. I'm so excited.
You know, I think that's what's missing in horror right now is the good, old-fashioned, fun horror movie. That horror movie you come out and you go, oh my God, that was so gory and it was so horrible and I loved it. You know, I mean that kind of horror movie, because those were the horror movies that I used to watch, were the really like almost comedic levels of blood.
You're talking about Freddy Krueger movies and the Evil Dead.
Oh no, I hated those because those were about dreams, and I always have bad dreams. So I'm afraid that at one point Freddy's going to get me at some point. That's how I'm going to die.
Well, Freddy always shows up in my dreams. So.
Yeah.
You know, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Right, yeah. 3, 4, 5.
All right, so
bolt the door.
So like I said, I'm excited for this franchise. So like I said, spoilers alert. It's like I said, just listen for Bruce Campbell, and you'll hear him. And the theory is he's a time displaced Ash.
It's not irrational. Cheese graters are kitchen horror shows. That's true. If you watch Nightmare Kitchen,
Jamez and I are on our same page. Same page, Jamez. Same
yes.
page.
So
all right.
All right. Without further ado,
I was gonna say, I think we've beaten this Evil Dead to the
Necronomicon. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for one zombie-like thing to another zombie-like thing.
They're not zombies. They're the infected.
The Last of Us.
Yes. So, Mr. and Mrs. Fours, Captain, are you guys ready to discuss your last watch of The Last of Us?
Yes. Yeah. Are we ready, Mr. Fours?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and start, Captain?
So I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I was totally thrilled with it. I will say that Bad Touch Dave was not nearly as creepy as he was in the game. But he definitely had.
He was creepier in the game than he was in the show. I was like, I wanted to murder him by the end.
I mean, he was creepy. He was creepy. Don't get me wrong. He was definitely creepy and definitely had triggering moments, but he was less. I think I was almost less creeped out by him, at least at first, than I was by Bad Touch Dave in the game. I don't know. Mr. Fours, what do you think? You could gauge my reaction.
No, better. keep going, because I want to hear your take on the rest of the show as well.
Okay, so episode 5 was horribly sad.
Oh my gosh. No, I want to hear what you guys thought of Sam.
Sam was fantastic. I was totally on board with that.
Wasn't he amazing?
He was amazing. And I love that he was deaf. I was really happy with that. I really loved Henry. I loved who they cast as Henry. He just had this really trustworthy face, which I really liked. And I liked that he was a good brother. He was really, really caring. I mean, he cared for him as like a dad to a son in a way. And there was some really sweet moments. That episode was really cool because I didn't play through that episode with Mr. Force. It was you, Matt, who played Dampy. So it was really cool to see that. I saw the little Easter. We all, there are Easter eggs in there. I'd played Last of Us years ago, so I had to be. But since I had not played through that episode, there was some stuff that I was like, I am trying to remember this. Since it had been almost 10 years. And when Mr. Forrest pointed it out, I was like, oh, yeah. So it was a really cool play. It was a really cool going kind of down memory lane in a way that I thought was great. I loved the... oh, my gosh, James. Yes. I will say that there's I love those not Evil Dead 2, but Night of the Living Dead 2 took all the whole thing took place in the mall, which was really cool. Anyway, back to Last of Us. The the flashback episode with Riley was amazing. It was beautiful. I was completely hooked into it. I really loved who they casted as Riley. It was totally believable. Like within 2 seconds, I was like, yes, I'm on board.
Now, that was part of a DLC, right?
It was part of a DLC, but they played it just in the way that they went through the way that they went into the way that they went into the DLC was the exact same way we went into it. There was some changes. They did do some small changes here and there, like certain scenes that they took, certain like places where they did those like how things happened a little bit were a little different, but it didn't change the whole context of the story. It didn't change it. It just made everything more streamlined, which I actually don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem if you have to kind of change little teeny things like that to make, certain things work. I'm totally okay with it. As long as it doesn't take away from the characters or from the story itself, I'm super happy with it. They didn't do the turnover episode. They didn't do the turnover little dialogue, but they did a lot of the same similar dialogue that they did. The last episode was fantastic. Really, really good. I loved how they showed how how Ellie, thanks, how Ellie became immune. Really great.
She got bladed.
She got bladed.
She got
bladed. Yeah, I was like, she got bladed. I was like, just very, very similarly. When I said that, I was like, oh my god, she got bladed. She became a daywalker. That spoiler alert that is a cameo from Ashley Johnson.
Yeah, she was the one that played Ellie, right?
She played Ellie in the original game. You also had in the Bad Touch Dave episode, you also had original Joel in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy that played Tommy was in the episode with
Kath.
Yeah. So I love that they tried as hard as they could to get all of the voice actors to give them a role so that, they still feel included, because I think that's really a cool thing.
Yeah, I really felt like Ashley Johnson's part. Mr. Force, can you mute?
I'll mute it back.
Okay. Ashley Johnson's performance and her being in that, like it was very fitting that she was the one who gave birth to Ellie as her role in there, and it felt like it was this cool kind of passing of the torch. It was really awesome to see her and just the whole connection of everything. I really loved like how the story ended, and I mean it was very satisfying. It gave and it left it to Last of Us 2. I think it's really great. I was not disappointed by the series at all. I loved Bella Ramsey. As Mr. Forrest kept saying, she's your daughter. I'm like, yeah, she probably would be my daughter. I want a daughter like that. She's awesome. She's a fighter. She's a survivor. I think she's great in the movie.
I have a question. So
yes.
when they're in Wyoming, when they meet Tommy, I think was
yes.
that episode 7?
In Jackson.
I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Jackson. So the girl that Ellie like mean mugs and scares off, people have been saying that's Abby, and I know Abby is a big deal in the second.
I don't know. I know that Mr. Forrest had that same connection. Here, I'm gonna let Mr. Forrest take the mic. I'm gonna mute mine so he could talk because I've been talking enough about it.
All right, you're good, Forrest.
All right. So first of all, the girl you saw, her name is Dina, and that is Ellie's love interest in Last of Us 2.
Okay, that's what people were saying, is that was
that's
who it was. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's
Dina.
Why.
Abby is
we're not going to talk about Abby because Mrs. Forrest has not seen Abby yet. We're not going to talk about it. She doesn't know. She doesn't know the plot. She doesn't know what happens. So we ain't gonna say shit.
Well,
I just know the name. That's all I know.
Well, they're saying that
talking about Abby.
They're saying that she was there in the last episode.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
The doctor scene.
Oh, okay. Oh, because yeah. All right, now I remember.
Now, I won't spoil any more, but that's where she comes in.
All right, cool. Yeah. So, what do you think? What did you think about it? Because I know you have feelings.
Oh, that giraffe scene was everything. Sorry.
Yeah, there are scenes in that game that bring me to tears that they actually did correctly here, which I'm very, very, very happy about. The giraffe scene was done right. The Ellie telling Joel that everybody has left her except for him was done right. And the very, very end, when she wants the confession and she doesn't get it, that was also done right. I'm very pleased with Marlene. I loved Marlene. I thought she was done correctly.
And that's the same actress that played her in the game, right? Yeah. Okay.
The only thing that this was missing, the whole series was missing. It was missing more action, and it was missing more infected, and it was missing more raiders. I mean, we had a good chunk of raiders. We had a healthy chunk of raiders with the stuff with Dave, which I'm not disappointed about. That's fine. But this series was missing the infected in the biggest way. We literally had 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes of infected out of 10 episodes. So
I think, yeah.
I mean, they're supposed to, I mean, they're a crucial portion of what this story's supposed to be. And I mean, we were supposed to have them with Bill. We were supposed to have them at the university. We were supposed to have them on the way to after the giraffes. We were supposed to have one last run with the infected before we get to the lab. I mean, it's the infected. A lot of the confrontation with the infected is really character building for both Joel and Ellie, and they robbed us of that. So I'm not going to say the series was bad because it wasn't. I'll go back and watch it again and again and again if I have to. But in every single possible way, the game was better, 100%. It just was. And I'm not fanboying over the game. I'm saying that it's in terms of Neil Druckmann wanting to tell a story and actually tell us parts that he feels he missed with the game. Great. He did a great job because he was co-directing the show. However, there are points in the game that I think could have been creatively put in there that they left out. The story with Bill could have been better. The university could have been better. The final run could have been better. I mean, even I mean, Jackson was not supposed to be there. The citizens of Jackson have a stronghold that protects their city. We're not supposed to see Jackson until Last of Us 2. So the fact that they took us there early, I mean, yeah, that was neat. It was cool to see, but that's it, wrong place, wrong time. So, I mean, if I were out of a 10 rating, all right, the game gets a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
The show gets a 7 out of 10. It does. It just does, because I feel like the audience just was not given a real good taste of what the infected really are and just how dangerous they can be.
Well, speaking of the infected and the scene that we get, you know, I felt like when Joel goes to essentially the tower of the house, or the top of the house, and starts shooting, that you felt like you were playing the game with him, right? When he has to protect Henry and Ellie and stuff like that. Now, how do you feel about Melanie Linsky's character, which is not in the game? She's not in the game.
Created specifically
I like her.
for the show.
I mean, I love her in everything she does. How do you feel adding characters that never existed? How do you think it worked in this? Do you feel like it took anything away? Do you think it added stuff that were missing from the Fireflies and stuff and all that stuff?
You talking about Kathleen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a neat little side story. It gave Henry and Sam some enrichment. And it also was a nice foreshadowing and a reminder that, you know, when Tess says to Joel, "We're shitty people, Joel. You've got to remember." I mean, that's kind of the point they drive home. You know, what Henry does, he thinks he's a hero to his brother. What Joel does, you know, he thinks he's a hero to Ellie. You got to remember, as viewers watching this, Joel's not a hero. No. Joel's not a hero.
I mean,
he's not a hero. He's a shitty person.
Yeah, he just says it. He says it throughout the whole thing.
He's just like,
a guy. I'm a shitty person. Yeah, he's a guy that had to go through
insurmountable odds. I wanted to say one thing. Now I can't remember what it was.
We're on the spot now.
Well, I wanted to say there was something that you said, and Mr. Forrest and I wanted to. The way that Joel gets injured is different.
Yeah.
We were robbed of that too.
Yeah, and I think it probably had to do with just like the stunt work on it. It probably was just a lot. And it just probably didn't work, so they had to do it a different way. I'm guessing that's what happened.
Well, also he's more human in the show than the video game.
Yeah, I still think someone could survive that, but yeah. There was a lot of that we missed out on. I think some of the crucial points of the Bad Dutch Dave season, episode 2, that I think need to be put in there. I mean, there are some. I mean, I think that they did the PTSD with Ellie really, really well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take that away from the show. I give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I thought it was fantastically done. The Bad Touch Dave could have been done a little more creepy. The religious aspect that went through Bad Touch Dave, I think that was fine for me. I didn't have a problem with it. I got super triggered during that episode. I really did. Even though I didn't find him nearly as creepy as the game. Because I think the guy was trying, the actor, and I think that the story was that this guy was really a very creepy person, but he was a lot more magnetic and on the surface kind. Quote unquote,
very, almost charismatic, like a charismatic cult leader.
Yeah, he was charismatic cult leader, and it gave. And the thing is that they gave him like other people, that he had a whole people to, a whole town there. It wasn't just raiders; it was women and children, and a group of them trying to survive. So it made him in a way more human. I think, at least on the surface. But you kind of got that he already was kind of like the not Jim Jones. Yeah, kind of Jim Jones sort of thing, like
drink
Jeff
the
Warren.
Kool-Aid, drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, he was kind of like the Jeff Warren in a way. And I think some of the bad creepiness factor that you get from Dave in the game is because he doesn't have all those layers. So you have to pull back the layers. I mean, I got, as soon as Dave comes onto the screen in the game, I'm like, oh God, gotta touch Dave.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like this guy at all. I hate him. He creeps me the fuck out. I don't like him. I mean, even the way he talks to Ellie in the game, like, is much creepier. It, like, you get right off the bat that he's like, yep, I'm gonna get that, and it's awful. It's awful watching it happen. This one, it's definitely more like it slows into it a little more. It eases you into that whole thing and why he is the way he is, and I think that was the difference for me. Whereas I could have pegged it right away. The guy that plays him, is, you could tell he's not really that. So I think that kind of makes the factor different. I think it probably was a struggle for the actor to play that.
Now, do you
I had
think
something else and I don't remember what it was. Darn it! I'm sorry. I'm like talking in circles, trying to remember what I was going to say because Mr. Forrest had said something and now I can't remember what it was about.
Now, do you think the big difference between the game and the show, this is for everybody, is that they humanized them more in the show. They made it more sympathetic than versus essentially a black and white, bad versus evil, or good versus evil in the game. That, you know, okay, this person's definitely bad, this person's definitely good, but we're humanizing more of the relationships that people have. You don't think that's?
I don't think that was a factor. I mean, that's my personal take. I mean, again, Bad Touch Dave is still, at the end of the day, Bad Touch Dave. He's still not a good person.
I wonder if they changed it for the medium, for the TV medium, because TV's more passive, whereas the game, you're more active in it. And so I wonder if maybe they did something like that. Now, I have to say, I actually have watched or listened to all of the after podcasts of The Last of Us, and it is very enlightening on why they changed certain things the way that they did. It's Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin with the voice actor for Joel, and they go pretty in depth with it. So I know a lot of the stuff is they focus more on the human relationships and how love can be toxic, and that these are all toxic love relationships,
that makes
and
sense.
That's why they're there. And so I think they did focus on the humans more than they did on the infected. And, you know, being one that doesn't really like the whole zombie thing, I loved it because of that. Probably won't play the game because I'm watching Mr. and Mrs. Fours play the game, so I don't have to. And if you don't want to play the game,
we play it, so
please
you
watch
don't have
them.
to.
Please watch these two right here play the game, or these guys play the game, so you don't have to, because it's very funny when they play the game. I love all of the banter.
Yeah, I said that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I liked it for that. I liked that it was more about humans are the real monsters in this. The infected.
I mean, that was the whole point of The Walking Dead as well. So
it's just that the humans are the real monsters, and that the infected are just mindless automatons, almost just trying to survive. And so it was kind of that whole juxtaposition for me, and I really enjoyed that. And I haven't seen Walking Dead, so I didn't expect any of it. But yeah, and the podcast, I think, made me more like invested in why the humans were doing what they were doing.
So since Mr. and Mrs. Forrest gave us a rating out of 10, what would you give the show out of 10?
Overall, I'd say, and I'm going to steal this from Distance Skirting because I'm going to do the whatever out of whatever. I would give it 9 Joel's awkward tone of voice in episode 5. Out of 10 Ellie's cursing awkwardness, because she curses awkwardly and he scowls awkwardly. So I think that's a good comparison. So
okay, I mean, yeah, for me, it's definitely an 8 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, the game is definitely better, but the show works. You have the major plot points of it, and you get the gist of it. You get the underlying idea behind it, but it's done in a different media. It's not just a one-for-one translation, which, as a lot of people say, they always want it, but when it's done, most people hate it. So
I feel like it's more of a companion piece.
Yeah.
Like background stories, or like, here's what happened on the human side of it while the infected were out there, you know, having a dance party or whatever. So,
all right. So, Forrest, let's do some final thoughts here. We'll start with you, Forrest. Final thoughts on the show. Are you excited for season 2? Do you think that how much deviation do you think there'll be from part 2?
Man, there better be more infected. I'm just putting that out there. I've played Last of Us 2 twice now, all the way through. And I'm about to go through it a third time with the missus over here. And and every time I go through it, I find something new. It gets a little deeper, and I'm a lot more sympathetic to certain characters. So it needs the infected. It needs the confrontation. And again, 2 is much more confrontational than 1 is. I mean, 1's got a lot of confrontation. 2, if you don't have the confrontation and all the emotion, you know, backing not just human versus human, but human versus infected, if you don't have that, the story's a bust. It's a complete bust. And I'll also say this. If people can't wrap their minds around the fact that the humans have become shitty people, that there are no heroes, you're gonna miss the point.
Right.
You're gonna miss the point. Period. Final thoughts on Last of Us. I said, well, I have spoken. So 7 out of 10. It just needed more infected. It needed more infected to drive home the real threat. But for what we were given, yes, Neil Druckmann delivered. He did deliver, even though there's some things I don't agree with. He did deliver the overall story, and there were some tear-jerking points, and there were some exciting points. There were some horrific points. So, yes, it was good, and I am satiated by it.
Good, yay! We got a force positivity in there.
Final thoughts there, Captain.
I liked it. I understand that some of the stuff did get changed. I mean, the fact that it was the writer himself made those changes. The main creator of the game. I was certainly okay with it. Episode 3 just wrecked me, and when we got to episode 5, some people said episode 5 was even wrecked you the more. I was not. It did not hit me the same as I think it did for a lot of people. I was actually more okay with it than I was with episode 3. Episode 3 just completely just annihilated me. I was down. I thought it was fantastic. I am less angry about it than Mr. Fours is. I was okay with the less amount of the infected there. I mean, they still pose just as much of a threat as they do in the game. We just can't see all those confrontations just because it's a show, not a game for me. So I gave it a 8 or a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a really great. I thought it was a very loyal telling to the story. I thought that the actors did a phenomenal job. I didn't even mind Kathleen. I didn't mind they made Kathleen for the story. I thought it added the changes they made. Okay, my big caveat is I wish we still got Bill. That is my only thing that I don't really agree with in terms of the show. I loved everything they did with it up until they could have just had him still be alive and still be cranky and are still cranky Bill than we got at the end of than what we basically had. But I love the poeticness of that episode as a standalone episode. It was fantastic. As I said, I was not okay after that episode. But everything else was fantastic. I really loved the ending. I'm sure that I'll understand what Mr. Force is going on about when he said that we got kind of robbed of some of the things from, Last of Us 2 because of the way that they did it. I'm sure there is, but as someone who loves both, loves the game and loves it, oh, that's what it was. That's what I was thinking about. Because he said that I know that, for show and the game, like they have to change, the things have to be changed for production and all that. And you were saying how, like, yeah, people, they say that they want a retelling of it where, slotted.
Yeah.
I understand. For me, I understand that certain things do have to be changed to make certain things work more workable.
Yeah.
Because I'm showing Mr. Fours the BBC production of Lord of the Rings, my Lord of the Rings, that I grew up with and that I love. And oh no, it's a no. I mean, this is a 10 out of 10 play, teleplay of Lord of the Rings. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. It is one of the absolute best Lord of the Rings productions. I would say to everybody, go and listen to it, because if you want Lord of the Rings from the books, that is the one. You go to that one. That one is so good. It really does overshadow everything else. It really does. Ian Holm as Frodo is just it's the best thing ever. I'm gonna nerd out on Lord of the Rings. But the thing is that I'm getting at is that they did have to change certain things. There are certain things that are changed. They had to take out certain things, and they did have to change it so that it worked. Nothing that they changed took anything away from the story, and it completely. What they usually do is they just streamlined it, or they took certain things out because it would have made that teleplay way too long. It would have felt like it got taken away from the story. Anything that took away from the main story, they cut. And I'm okay with it just because it doesn't take away from the story. And this is how I feel about The Last of Us. I don't think that anything they changed, with maybe the exception of Bill, that took away from the overall message and the story that they were trying to deliver. And that is my end goal. That's why I gave it a higher rating than Mr. Forrest did. And I am okay with things going story by story, line by line, if it's good and if we needed that. But you can always change things as long as you don't change the characters, change the story. You just make things fit more so that it's easier to streamline it if it's too long. Like, I did not like the Silent Hill game movie changes that they made. They were cool, but I didn't like them just because we didn't get Harry. We just didn't get Harry.
Right.
And then, Revelation, I guess, was supposed to be a bit by bit. I did not see it, but it wasn't well done, supposedly. So that's basically my take on that whole thing, was that I thought it was great. I'm excited for more Last of Us. I hope we get more Last of Us 2 season. I think they're in production now.
Yep.
I'm excited for it. That's my take.
Final thoughts, Ray Girl?
Not playing the game, I do feel like just listening to people that have played the game, that this is more of a companion to it, like almost like novelizations in Star Wars. You know how they have like, oh, this is the story that you didn't get to see in the movie, but it complements the movie. I feel like that's it, that's really what it is supposed to be, and I'm enjoying it for that. I really loved it. I loved it so much. I'm making my 20-year-old child play it, or not play it, but watch it with me. So I'm rewatching it for that reason. And yeah, I can't wait for season 2. I have to say that I really do love my little Pedrito. He's so awesome. And Bella Ramsey, I loved her in Game of Thrones, and I absolutely adore her in this. I love that they really tried to keep the video game family in, and that it's like they did enough fan service, but also told the stories that they wanted to tell.
Yeah.
And I think that is what makes it a good adaptation, not necessarily a shot for shot. And I mean, we got Watchmen, and there some of that Watchmen stuff, again by Snyder, was scene for scene, and if you didn't know the comic, you didn't know how powerful it was. And so I think that they did enough for the game fans to create that essence of the characters, but then they also did new stuff so that the people watching it were like, oh, this is exactly like the game. Why am I watching this TV show when I could just be playing the game right now? And I like that. And I think that might be the way to go with adaptations. Can't do it on all of them, but most of them you can. And I think that's the way to go. So I think we'll see this blueprint a lot going forward with other video game adaptations. Yeah. Those are my final thoughts.
Yeah, so my thoughts on this as a whole is I really enjoy the game, and it's someone that has been burned by the last sequel trilogy of Star Wars, having read all the EU books and stuff like that. That's what caused me to distance myself from source material, because I was so mad with the books and what they did with the sequel trilogy, going, there is 30 years worth of books here of material that you can go off of, and you just didn't. Like, those are the sequels that we deserved in it. And because of that, I really had to take a step back, and I go, okay, I understand why comic book fans are upset by changes to comic book movies that they make and stuff like that. And like I said, I step aside from that and enjoy the show for what it was. You know, I can go, hey, I get that reference when there is stuff in the show. And you just have to look at it as a essentially different universe with the same main plot points that happen. Could it have been done closer to the game? Probably. I honestly feel that I think that Joel's daughter's death was more impactful in the game because you play as her versus the TV show. That it wasn't as hard hitting. My wife never played the game, but I showed her you guys' playthrough. I showed her what differences were, and she enjoyed the game more for the daughter's death is more impactful. But she thought that the show of Bill and Frank was more impactful than the game, because it is a completely different take on it. It really is. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think we're going full season 8 of Game of Thrones with it, so we're not that bad of it. But I enjoy the games. I'm enjoying the TV show, so I'm just I have to have that hard line of separation for me. And that's
Elseworlds, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I'm at. So I'm excited for both. I want to see you guys play through Last of Us Part 2.
We'll get there. We're it's in the works. We're planning it. It's gonna happen.
So
it will happen. We just have to get the Last of Us 1. Honestly, the reason why we haven't done it yet is because it's on me. It's all on me. It's my fault. I take full responsibility for us not getting to because we have something that was planned, and I had to take time to learn it, to learn the surprise thing that we're gonna show. Yep. So it's totally on me. That's my fault. Poor Mr. Force. I don't think he's feeling great.
No, I think we're good to start calling our pluggables here. So
yeah, absolutely.
Well, we start with the wide awake Force here.
Give us your pluggables, know where to find me. I'm on Distance Nerding twice a week. I'm on Kyber Cave Productions like 3 or 4 times a week. And if you go to saberfont.com, you can purchase a sound font if you purchase a lightsaber from kybercave.com. Yay!
Yay!
Next.
Lady Moon, aka the Captain, aka Aubrey McCoy. You can find my music on Spotify. I will be doing more compositions for Kyber Cave Productions as we keep going on here. I've composed some of the music that we have here. I will be composing more. I have another album in the works. You can also find some of the music that I did with Leo Saramago as part of BYL. You can go there on Spotify and find that music there. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, I'm here with these guys, lovely people, all the time. I'm here doing all this stuff. I'm also an actress. You can look at my IMDb page. I've done some stuff. I'm gonna be doing more stuff soon. I've been working with a director. We were talking about doing some shorts and some stuff, so we're gonna be doing some things there. And yeah, that's basically what's going to be happening here for me. That's me. Go ahead to you guys.
Awesome.
All right, Corglisi.
Okay. Today I'm the tired one. Anyway, apparently not, because at least I'm upright. Because, you know, that guy right there. But I'll give him the tired one title. I am here on Saturdays with these wonderful people. I do the download on distance nerding with usually some of these people, actually. So we're all kind of everywhere. I am the mod supreme. I mod for distance nerding. I mod for Kyber Cave Productions on Discord. So definitely check out our Discord. We all are we're active on that. If you guys put something in there, we will comment back. If you want us to talk about a subject that you're nerding out about, please let us know. You can let us know there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Fragril on Twitter, at Fragril on YouTube, Gotham.Oracle on TikTok, Gotham_Oracle on Instagram. And yeah, and so there is a little channel that I do mod for as well. It's called New Rockstars, and we're moving on from that. And yeah, so if you guys want to know what, if you want us to nerd out about something that you're nerding out about or something you're really excited about, let us know and we will do our best to nerd out about it. So, and I'm going to let the one and only Salty Gravy Graveyard, Mr.
Stampy.
Jim, I'm the most awake this morning.
Somehow.
Take over and get us out of here.
Somehow that's amazing that somehow I'm the most awake one of everyone. So I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly podcast. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast. It releases every Wednesday, usually at midnight. Hectic week's been with the Graveyard and Forest takeover for 2 weeks now, and everything and all things that's been going on. On top of that, you want to follow the podcast and myself. I'm under Pod Out at Night on all social media. So you want to talk horror movies with me, tweet at me, Instagram me. We also have a Discord, not doing anything right now. But on top of that, as everyone has said, join our Discord for Kyber Cave Productions. We want to talk all things nerdy with you. We also have a horror section there too. So you want to talk to me horror there as well. We have a couple of horror hounds on this show as well. So make sure to check that out. On top of that, you can find me 4 days a week here at Kyber Cave Productions doing gaming, heavy hitting topics on Kyber Cave Dark, and just nerding out with some of my favorite nerds on Saturday mornings. So make sure to check it out. And also distance nerding, I am doing brackets. We're going to be doing brackets forever for DC. Once we hit that with between Mr. Forrest, Frey, and Phil, there's going to be some heated discussions on that.
I'm going to be on there for those, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
I will be on there for them because I have to be part of the DC discussion.
And I'll just go DC what?
Yeah, there's going to be a fight when it comes to Joker.
Oh, absolutely. And top of that, as you can see below, we do have a Patreon just for as little as $1 a month. You can help support our channel. You're entered to win free swag. At the higher tiers, you entered to win even better swag. We just had 5 Saber giveaways for Patreon in the top 2 tiers. So make sure to join that. It helps us give you more content and be able to bring more shows like the pending New Order show that we are really excited to have come out. And we have more stuff in the works for you guys. So please, please, please help us out. Support us. Share this, like, comment, subscribe. And remember, for every 100 subscribers we give away a Saber. And all you have to do is show up and make a comment. That's all it takes. Costs you $0. So the more you share, the more people subscribe, the faster we get to these tiers for lightsaber giveaways. So on behalf of everyone here at Kyber Cave Productions, Saturday Morning Nerd Out, I'd like to thank you, and don't be afraid to let your nerd out, and we will see you next time.